Hey everybody, welcome to 2026. It's January, the beginning of January 2026, and it's that time of year where we all make decisions about our future, or at least the next 12 months of our future, and we're all motivated to fix something that we should have fixed last year, to do something we didn't do last year, or to stop doing something we did do last year. We want to take care of our health, we want to rearrange our priorities. We're all very motivated. But we need to understand that the motivation doesn't translate into anything unless we couple it with discipline. And we need a structure and we need a plan of action to go forward to make sure that we do carry out some sequence of actions that will honor that motivation and that decision that we made on the 1st of January. And one of the most common things for people to make a decision about in January is weight loss. It just is. You might be thinking of, or you might already be doing, you might be thinking about weight loss injections, which are becoming very common and very popular. Ozempic, Mounjaro, Wegovy, these are some of the brand names. And in this video, I want to give you some information that you need to have to be able to make the best decision about whether or not it's for you, how long you want to do it for, or even just some questions for you to run by your doctor. So, welcome to SHAPEFIXER. I'm Andrew. I am a nutritionist and I'm a sportsman, so weight is a big thing in both those aspects of my life. And so here we go. Let's talk about these injections. What they are, how they work, why they work, what they were meant for, and what the implications are for you, depending, of course, on your personal circumstances. So, trying to keep the jargon to a minimum, they are so-called GLP-1 receptor agonist chemicals. Okay, that doesn't matter what that means. It basically means they imitate a hormone that stops you feeling hungry. Okay, so you have these hormones that should stop you eating, and for some reason they're not working properly and you are overeating and you're putting on weight and you can't get your weight off. So these injections will stop you eating so much. They will make you eat less. They make you less hungry. You don't have the same cravings. And they do it. There's a number of mechanisms that are employed by these chemicals to make your body change and react so that you don't eat. Okay, one of the things they do is they slow down the emptying of your stomach. So your stomach is physically full of food for a longer period. But they also trigger receptor sites in your liver that then send messages to your brain to say, we don't need any food, we don't even want any food. And that's what your hormones are supposed to be doing. They're not. So you're eating too much. Now, you can be trying as hard as you like with exercise, counting calories, all these other ideas that are the most popular sort of weight loss concepts, and they don't work. Because if your hormones are not working properly to control the urge to eat, you are going to eat. And then it matters very, very much what you eat, because certain foods disrupt those hormones. And that's the key. The key, if you want to do it naturally, is to eat the right stuff and avoid the wrong stuff so that these hormones work naturally. If they don't, then you take the injections. Okay, so that sounds like a simple solution. I don't care what I eat. I like what I eat. I've tried. I've taken all the advice from the government, from my doctor, from textbooks, and it's not working, and I'm still, why am I not losing weight? You know, I'm eating all these grains and whole wheat grains. I've cut down on saturated fat. I'm not eating much meat, and somehow I'm eating lots of fruit, and I don't understand why I'm fat. I'm going to take an injection. Firstly, that's the wrong dietary advice, okay? That's outdated. Unfortunately, it's still the sort of majority view. It's so-called common knowledge or public knowledge that that's the type of food you should be eating. It's wrong. The science is now there. It's in the scientific literature. The studies are there. The data is there. That is the wrong diet. And that's why you're putting on weight. Because those foods, carbohydrates in particular, so any sugars, starches, anything like that, sabotages your hormones, which are supposed to stop you eating. And then you can't stop eating because you're hungry. What else are you going to do? You have to eat if you're hungry. Otherwise, you get weak and shaky and dizzy and you feel absolutely terrible. You shouldn't be hungry if you're overweight, because what's all that body fat for? That is supposed to be your energy source. You get hungry because you cannot access that energy source, because you cannot burn fat, because you are eating carbohydrates. So that's a whole nother story, and we've done videos on that, and I'll link some of them down below here. So let's get back to the injections. What do? In the absence of your hormones, which are now blocked because you're eating carbohydrates, which raise insulin, and it's insulin that blocks these hormones, you inject yourself with a synthetic, artificial version of the hormone. That's why it's called GLP-1. It's a glucagon-like peptide 1. It's glucagon-like. It's like glucagon. Glucagon is the actual hormone. And yes, it stops you being hungry. And yes, it makes you lose weight. It's fantastic. It works. There you go. You lose weight. And even when you go off them, you will put some of the weight back on, but not all of it. Unlike other diets, crash diets, I don't know, pineapple diet, all these weird diets where you lose a lot of weight very quickly, you stop the diet and boom, the weight comes back with interest and you get fatter. This one, you don't. You put maybe 60% of the weight back on. So that sounds fantastic. But it isn't. So let's understand what actually happens. When you're taking these injections and you're not eating, you're losing weight because you are starving. You're just not eating enough to nourish your body, and your body is now forced to find food somewhere in your body. And a lot of that is your body fat. Great. So you start losing weight. But you're probably going to carry on eating the same stuff that you were eating before. Just, I guess, less of it. So you're going to become nutrient deficient. Clearly, to get so overweight in the first place, the diet you were on was not correct. Now it's even worse, because you're on the same bad diet with lots of carbohydrates and sugars, and even less protein and fat, which are the essential nutrients that you really need. So your body needs protein and fat, so it will start getting it from your body. Fat, it will get from your body fat. That's fine. Where's the protein going to come from? It's going to come out of your muscles. So a lot of the weight you lose, yes, a lot of the weight will be body fat, and you'll see the difference. But probably a third, maybe roughly, of all the weight that you lose will be muscle mass and bone density. So your muscles get weaker, your bones get weaker. If you're a woman past middle age, you are running a very high risk of serious osteoporosis. Muscle loss, especially after the age of 50, is very difficult to get it back. And one of the, if not the, most significant markers in sort of getting on into your senior years, one of the most significant markers for longevity is muscle mass. So you're losing muscle mass, losing strength. There is a direct correlation between muscle mass and how long you're going to live. So you could argue that indirectly you're probably shortening your life, or at least lowering the chance of having a longer life. You are weakening your bones because they're becoming less dense. Now you've got weak muscles, weak bones. You're going to trip at some point. You won't be able to catch yourself because your muscles aren't strong enough. You will fall, and you wouldn't have fallen before. And you're going to break a bone that you wouldn't have broken before. And everything is downhill from there. The reason you don't put back all the weight when you stop these injections is exactly because some of that weight was muscle and some of it was bone, and that doesn't go back. So you get to the weight that you think you want, you stop the injections, you put on 60% of it again. Well, that's all the body fat. That's the unhealthy part of the weight. So you are as metabolically sick as you were before, you just weigh a bit less. But you're weaker, and your bones are weaker. Now, you can do this without the injections just by changing your diet. And you don't need to be counting calories or eating less or starving yourself in any way. All you need to do is fundamentally change your diet and get rid of the carbohydrates. Just get them out of your diet once and for all. All the starches, potatoes, rice, grains, bread, obviously the sweet, obvious sugar stuff like the cookies and the candies and the sugared drinks, and that includes fruit juice and fruit. Let me tell you, there is a massive amount of sugar in fruit, and fruit juice is even worse than fruit. Just enough with that already. Give it a go. Give it a go. You want to lose weight this year in a way that is sustainable and healthy, that costs you less because you will end up eating less because you won't be hungry all the time. No medications, so there's no risk of terrible side effects like osteoporosis and all those other things. You can do it. And the beauty of this is that you can do it by yourself and you will see the difference in 2 months. You might see it in 10 days, you'll start feeling better. But certainly 2 months, 3 months, it's unbelievable. Then you will start to feel other benefits and start reversing diseases and metabolic conditions and syndromes that may have been diagnosed with. Maybe you're on medication for some of these things, and maybe that will go away and you won't need that medication either. It's the beginning of a journey back to really, really good health, the best health at least that your body can give you, because we're all different age, different gender, different history, different circumstances. We've had surgeries or we haven't. We have a history of doing sport or we don't. So exercise is a more complicated thing, but exercise doesn't mean sport. Exercise means movement, so long as you're moving. These things are not complicated, but I will acknowledge they're not always easy. Okay, so for the purposes of these injections, understand what they do. They mimic a hormone that is not doing its job because you're not letting it, because you're eating wrong. So they mimic the hormone, which then makes you lose weight. But you don't lose weight in a healthy way because you're not healthy. You're not healthy in the first place. Unless you change your diet, you're not suddenly going to be healthy. So you need to be healthy. Your weight will come down. You will eat less. You won't weaken your muscles. You won't weaken your bones. All right, so those injections have a place if you are type 1 diabetic and your body does not produce insulin. One of the things these injections does, it stimulates the production of insulin so that you can burn sugar. But I would come back to, why are you eating the sugar in the first place? But these medications were developed for people with diabetes. And in treating the diabetes, most diabetics lose some weight. Now everyone's jumped on the bandwagon and said, I'm going to take a diabetic injection, because guess what? It has a side effect of weight loss. That sounds like a shortcut to me, and a cop-out, and an excuse to not take responsibility for your own health. If you're not diabetic, you really need to think twice, and then maybe a third time, about whether you should be taking these injections. And if you are taking them, you need to have a little quick think and a reconsider and go, at least let me fix my diet so that I can go off these injections as soon as possible before I lose too much muscle mass and too much bone strength. That's what you need to do. Now, if you want to understand more about your health, your weight, your nutrition, well, come to SHAPEFIXER. This is what we do on this channel. Click a like on this video if you're already familiar with the channel. There are over 350 videos on this channel, all free, that you can spend as much time as you like going through. A lot of them have references to scientific studies that you can download and read if you want to, and links to other videos. So you can learn everything you need to learn. Think of this channel like a textbook. You buy the textbook, you read the textbook, you do the exam, you pass, you know what you're talking about. If you want more help than that, that's fine. Then you go to my website, shapefixer.com, and you can make an appointment, book a consultation, online video consultation. I will look at your blood tests and we'll have a one-on-one, and that's what I do. Okay, that's an option for you. You don't have to do that. You can watch all the free stuff. Or you can even join a program that we run every 2 months where we actually help people apply all this stuff. And I do live streams every single week with a group of people. And we have a community, an online community where we type and post and ask questions and talk to each other, and it's a support structure to help you apply all this knowledge. So if that's what you want, go to my website, I say again, and see what that's all about. I'll also do a link to a video that explains the program if you're really interested in that. It's called the Super You program. The idea behind it is to just take 2 months where I hold your hand and guide you through changing your life and applying all these things and learning, getting the information that you really need, so that you are then, it's like getting your driver's license, and then you can go off and do your own thing. If you don't need that, fine. Watch the free videos and apply this, but understand that your health is only going to change if you change what you're doing. Taking an injection is not changing what you're doing. That's a shortcut. It's a mask. It's a plaster. You're sticking plaster. You're covering up the fact that you're doing wrong stuff. And I would say to you, if you're so overweight that you need these injections, clearly you're doing the wrong stuff. So you need to change what you're doing, because these injections are going to make you feel better and look better short term. They are potentially going to shorten your life and cause you major health problems going into the future. Now, your doctors might not know this, and that is because these injections haven't been around for very long. So the science behind how they work is quite new. So if your doctor has been practicing for, 5 years or more, they didn't learn this when they studied. So they don't understand this unless they are not so busy and they're actually able to keep studying and reading the research. I've never met a doctor who isn't busy, so I don't know how that works. I think most doctors rely on the drug companies to update them with research, which is their own research into the drugs. So your doctor probably the only thing your doctor probably knows about these injections is what the drug company who makes the injections has told them. So you need to learn this stuff, and you need to go and ask your doctor. I've heard that taking these injections, I will also lose muscle mass. I will also lose bone density. These are the side effects of these injections. These injections are artificially making me not feel hungry when my body is hungry. I'm starving. It's a starvation medication. It's crazy stuff. Anyway, that's enough for me for today. That's the in and out of Ozempic, Mounjaro, Wegovy, and all these other drugs. And there are slight insignificant differences between them that trigger certain receptors in your liver. They all basically boil down to the same thing. They imitate glucagon, or some of the aspects of glucagon, which is the hormone that is supposed to trigger your liver to burn fat and to control your appetite and to control your weight. It's not working because you are eating carbohydrates. Carbohydrates raise your insulin. Elevated insulin blocks a lot of other hormones, including glucagon. It doesn't work. You're hungry all the time, and you are being told to eat carbohydrates. So it's all back to front. It's crazy stuff. There we go. That's our video for today. Please go to our website and see if our Super You course might be something for you into the new year, because I would strongly recommend that you at least look into it and see if that sounds like something that's going to really help you change your life. So in part, instead of just a motivation and a New Year's resolution, you actually then also have a plan of action. Thank you for your time.